Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast, episode 936.
Yay!
1, 2, 1, 2. Yay! And I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
I'm still live.
What's up, Patrick?
Hey.
What's up, Mike D?
Shit.
What's up, Chris?
It's the Mandela effect. This is actually 937.
Yeah. Where the hell did this thing come from? I'm talking about two rope freaking things.
I'm telling you, you've been drinking.
Not drinking. St. Patrick's Day. All right.
This is the only green thing I have.
There you go.
Hey, that tastes
Well,
good, though, you know.
What's up, Chris?
Here's
All right,
my
Mike D.
green.
All right. So, we had a controversial everything show the other day that led into Real Whovians cast. And, Patrick, I want to give you the floor to basically, because I always want people to speak up and talk and do what they want to say and say what they want to say if you have some issues about certain things or to do with your theory. So, why don't we give you the floor?
Okay, where do I start?
The close mom.
I just have this big problem. How the hell could there be a child doctor, like Chris said, if he can't reach the damn freaking console?
It's simple. The doctor keeps changing his console around. He could have the console look like whatever he wants.
It's like a
He could have it lower. He customizes the TARDIS every time, remember?
Right.
Or the TARDIS customizes itself to fit the doctor. It's one or the other.
It's like a Fisher Price console or something like that.
Okay, so
Because remember when 11 said, before he went into the TARDIS, he said, okay, what do you have for me this time? And then you open the door and he says, oh, you sexy thing.
right.
So either the TARDIS customizes itself to the doctor or the doctor customizes it to his liking.
Well, we got a better chance of the doctor being a female than the doctor being a child.
I'm okay with that. I like the doctor being a child. I'm not going to stop watching the show.
Right.
Because I survived Moffat, so.
What was your question? What if we never get a
We
doctor
all
as a female?
like Muffet.
Yeah, would you get mad
I'm
if
okay with that. I just thought it might be a good idea, that's all.
Right.
Wasn't like something like I'd fight for all the time. I just think it would be.
I think that the Candyman returning would be a great idea. But that's never going to happen, unfortunately.
Is that the Time Lord from the Black and White days?
No,
Candyman
That's
from
that
Happiness
god,
Patrol.
that like the white.
Candyman was from
Seventh Doctor. Oh,
okay.
that's another question I want to ask you. You said something about the Seventh Doctor that you read, right? Did you
Yeah.
watch the Seventh Doctor episodes? All of them?
No, not all. That McCoy's the one I haven't watched. I just read that.
Well, then that explains.
The magazine.
Okay, that explains why you say you read something where the Doctor controls his companions, like or whatever.
Not controlled, but he was like manipulative.
See,
and dark.
the thing is, we've watched every single McCoy, so that's why. And I loved his Doctor, and I liked when later seasons he was getting dark clothes, Battlefield, freaking Remnants of Daleks. His freaking episodes were amazing. Silver Nemesis.
The thing is with McCoy's doctor, the word you're looking for, Machiavellian tactics is what he uses for kind of, it's like a chess player. He kind of stays like a couple steps ahead of the villain, and he's kind of pushing the pawns around on the chessboard, i.e. being Ace in some of those Perryville episodes and stuff, because he needed like the outcome that he was wanting accomplished, and to do so, he couldn't be completely above board with all of the mechanics of what was going on. So he was employing Machiavellian tactics, is what they.
And the Curse of Fenric episode, they repeated in the God Complex because the Doctor again had to break his companion's faith in him in order to save them. So that was completely.
Because every time
repeated.
they started drifting into that faith or so, that's when the
creature took them.
creature came. Yep.
Yeah. So, again, I love.
And that's good in a way too, because it's like there's something to be learned there, where it's like it's easy for people like the companion to kind of look at like the Doctor like he's like a demigod or something, and it's like it's good for him to stay like humble enough to be like, you know, I'm an alien, but I'm not like a demigod, and it's like I shouldn't be looked upon in that sort of way. Or it's like, you know, he doesn't want to be looked upon in that way. He wants to stay humble to a certain degree, where he's not like just this arrogant. Because I mean, with what he's capable of doing, like what we've seen in Waters of Mars and stuff, you know, if he gets a big head and lets things get to his head, he could result in what happened in Waters of Mars, where he's like thinking that, you know, hey, I can do whatever I want. I could reset time, and I could go back and change things because I'm the doctor and I'm Time Lord Victorious and all that
Or
sort of
even
thing.
Family of Blood. You know, Human Nature. When he got
And
pissed
let's
off,
not forget
he
a
did
classic,
some crazy
the
shit there.
Underworld.
He did some crazy shit there. I mean, he did shit I don't even know still how he did it. He put somebody behind a mirror. He
Yeah.
just threw somebody out of the tar. I was like,
Yeah, into a
wow.
black
He was
hole on
pissed.
top of that.
He was
Turn
pissed.
somebody else into a
And
scarecrow.
that's like my favorite thing. Like when you see your doctor. I mean, I love that episode. I love that when he just gets all serious and he's like, yo, man, I'm the oncoming storm. And exactly.
Too
It's
bad
funny.
he didn't do that to a shielder.
Yeah.
That's funny because I just watched. Well, you and I were chatting on Facebook, Joe. I was watching the Adipose episode,
Right.
and when they get to the spaceship on the roof, Donna goes, "What are you gonna do? Blow it up?" And then Doctor goes, "No, they're just children. They can't help where they came from." And then Donna goes, "Well, that's the change from last time."
I mean, the thing is with each doctor, like the 10th, the 11th, they had their moments. You know, you can say the 10th Doctor did all this crazy shit like that with the behind the mirror, and he's the oncoming storm, and the Time Lord Victorious. Even the 11th Doctor. The 11th Doctor had a whole entire army. Like, he just went against the church, all that stuff. The Good Man Goes to War. He had plenty of moments where people were just like, you know, with the Pandorica, they wanted to lock him up because he was a threat, you know? Capaldi, what could we say that Capaldi has, like that defining moment?
To me, it's the speech to the Zygons. That's my defining.
Do we have anything huge with Capaldi yet that we could say, yes, Capaldi did this?
His first episode.
Yeah, didn't he throw that half-faced man?
Well, we don't know if he did.
Well, here's the thing about that, and it is because of what I'm about to say that Deep Breath is my favorite episode with Capaldi.
And I'm probably,
in my opinion, he hasn't topped that yet.
Yep.
The speech, like Patrick said, that's another one of my favorite moments of his. But I still think his best moment was in that, excuse me, in that diner with the clockwork droid, where he's sitting at that table and he says, "I have a horrible feeling I'm going to have to kill you. And I just thought that you might want to have a drink before I do," or something like that. That was, in my opinion, hands down his best moment.
and I agree. And I think that's when they started, like, you know, whatever, the fangirls or whatever, they were like, oh, well, we need to kind of, like, smooth him out a bit because he's, like, a little too dark or whatever, you know. And I agree with Chris. Like, I love Capaldi in Deep Breath. I wish they would have continued that sort of.
I mean, into the Dalek, they kind of tried to say he was a little dark in there, like the soul.
Yeah.
We had him questioning himself, but that really didn't take off, like, compared to. And then Robin Hood was a totally, 180, like, comedy.
But that was good, though. Robin Hood was good because it showed that he does have a bit of a lighter side to him when he wants.
Right.
But, again, going back to Deep Breath, I don't want to keep harkening on that too much. Right. But the other scene that I really liked from him in that, excuse me, was when he's going to save Clara. And he's like, wait, maybe I shouldn't do this because tactically it's not the right thing to do. And she says, well, give me your sonic screwdriver. I could save myself. And he just looks and goes, yeah, but I might need it. And then he runs away. I think that was a really good, like, here's reality. This doctor's going to do what he thinks is best no matter who he puts in danger.
Right.
Which is a good thing. In my opinion, that was because Matt Smith, we know, and this isn't a slight at Matt Smith, but his doctor would have saved her. And then they probably would have gotten captured, and then who knows what the hell would have happened.
Right.
But this doctor was like, no, you know what? I'm putting you at risk, but I'm going to save the whole human race, basically.
But this was completely different from what he became because then he did everything tripping over Clara.
Right. That's what I didn't like. That's where I feel, again, that's where I feel that they put too much with Clara later on.
The thing is with what he was talking about, with the way that the character has changed, the way that Peter was playing him was, it's kind of like, remember, though, we had the opposite with Sylvester McCoy, where he started off a bit like childish and buffoonish in the first season or so, and then he became like a dark sort of doctor that wasn't quite as humorous as he was, but it was almost like a flip with Capaldi, where he started off with.
Scott, you're making me friggin' dizzy, man. I'm getting friggin' dizzy. I'm gonna shut your camera off right now. I'm gonna shut it off right now. I'm sorry. I'm like, whoa! Like a great adventure on the roller coaster. I apologize. All right, again, Mike D.
Got when I was Jumanji.
Sorry, man. I got dizzy. All right. Again, Mikey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
That
off.
was it. I finished my point. I just said I was just comparing the way that Peter's portrayal was in Deep Breath, and then henceforth to the way that Sylvester McCoy started.
He was like a ping pong.
Well, the doctors change. I mean, and I mean, Tom Baker even was like a bit like clownish sometimes, and then he'd like turn deadly serious. But he would say it like his delivery would just be like, well, I just have to destroy your ship. It was just like a flippant sort of answer.
Look at the brain of Morbius for one thing.
No, but I mean, I don't want to give classic doctors, but Capaldi. Look at that scene when he's smashing the TARDIS because he thought he found Gallifrey.
They are the doctors. I mean, we have to compare them to.
No, I know, but I want to get into Capaldi because he was smashing the TARDIS because Missy gave him the wrong coordinates. Like he had to find Gallifrey. He was pissed. He was angry, right? And when he found them, he didn't even want to freaking see them. It was like whatever.
We never got in my opinion, we never got a proper explanation for why she told him that they were there. Because, I mean, yeah, okay, I guess you could say she lied to him to piss him off, which, good enough, the Master would do something like that, I guess. But I always felt that they were trying to, like, hint that there was something more to that, but then it feels like they never went back to it. That's just my opinion.
They should have just said that the Master was incorrect, that maybe it changed places or something. Rather than
is there a delay when I'm talking, by the way? Because I'm not trying to interrupt anyone.
Yeah, there's a little bit. It's like a second or two.
Okay, well, yeah, I was just going to say real quick, it could have been a demonstration of control, like who's got the power.
Same here.
With Missy being a female, I mean, to establish to the audience, even anyone who may be any naysayer, that it's sort of a thing. It's a great leveler. They're leveling the power field there of who's got the power between the Doctor and Missy there.
And he would never listen to the Master anyway. Now all of a sudden, because she's a female, he's listening to her.
No, not really. I mean, in what is it? The 3-parter with the Master went during Tennant's run. The Master is really interested in knowing what the hell happened to Gallifrey. Like he has no idea, and the Doctor has to tell him that it burned, and he had to do all that stuff to it. And well, the Master, being slightly evil, kind of enjoyed it, but he was quite interested in knowing where the hell is my home planet.
No, but I'm saying that the Doctor, if the Master said jump, he wouldn't. Like say, like it's like Legopolis, he teamed up with them, but he didn't want to. No choice because he didn't trust him.
He was forced to do it.
So like if the Master gave Tom Baker's Doctor coordinates, he wouldn't go looking for it. He'd be like, I don't believe him. He's the Master.
Well, in that moment, he may have because think about this, right? With Tom Baker's Doctor, Gallifrey wasn't lost. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And in that moment where she tells, if I'm remembering correctly, she tells the 12th Doctor that Gallifrey's here after she was, quote unquote, defeated.
Right.
Right. Doesn't she say it after that whole thing gets resolved?
She says it before she disappears or whatever.
Right. So I guess it could be like what Mike D was saying, where she was still trying to establish dominance even though she was defeated. But I mean, the way, you know what it is? It's not even that. It's the way that he found Gallifrey in the last season, that it was just like, that's it? That's how he finds it?
Too soon.
Yeah. Mr. TARDIS Reviews lambasted Moffat for that.
Right. It's just a thing that they did so many different directions in one season. With Series 8. And then you end off in fucking Santa Claus. It's like, really?
Yeah, that was...
Fucking Santa Claus is in the TARDIS. It's like, how do you go from dark to light to dark to light and stupid? And it's like ridiculous.
Especially since that scene wasn't how he, it wasn't really how he met Santa Claus in the Christmas special.
I mean, again, it's like, and then you have the great opening of The Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar.
Yeah.
But even that was like, how did Clara not have regenerations if she's in a Dalek? And every single Dalek in the room's got regenerations. energy. Like, how come she?
Unless he just targeted towards the Khaled race. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
It didn't make any sense.
It would have been clever, but I really don't have anything bad to say about those 2 episodes. I thought those 2 episodes were done really well. In my opinion, I thought those were the stronger ones of that series.
Like, why is he? I mean, maybe Davros wasn't supposed to fall down the thing. Is that what it is? And that's not how he got his legs and everything messed up.
Maybe Clara wasn't patched into like a Dalek network because of what Missy did. She took out the Dalek and put Clara in there, so maybe it just affected how connected Clara was to the other Daleks.
Maybe that was going to be the. Again, we're just speculating here, but maybe that was the plan before she told them that she was leaving. Like maybe she was going to get regenerations, but they decided that since she's leaving, that part of the script could stay in there, but we're not going to give her regenerations. Because if the actress tells you that she's leaving, I would imagine that you would want to try to keep as much of the scripts that you already have intact as possible, but then change some of the other things around them.
What they should have done was hinted on the fact that she was going to become the Dalek, which we saw in Dalek Asylum.
Well, that's what everybody worried about. They're like, oh my God, she's going to become a Dalek. Like, it's like she's never going to know. She's gonna, just like her other, self or whatever.
Yeah.
So everybody was like, oh shit, But what's funny? It's like he built that companion out of proportions and a bird kills her.
Well, I mean, it wasn't a bird. It was.
She's probably going around the universe destroying every bird there is. That's why Unit had to make fake ravens, like robots. It's like a bird. We had a leaf that defeated a planet, and we had a bird that defeated your companion. It's like,
and it didn't even defeat her. Like she's still technically alive, sort of.
And this is why there's too much weird shit going on with Moffat stuff. That's just you need some. I mean, am I right, Mike D? I mean, certain things like we need a change, a new set of rules, where we know, okay, companions died. That's it. They're dead.
Well, I mean, even in Star Trek, they're always making such a big to-do about the Prime Directive, and like every 4th episode, they go right against it and break it. And then
right, well, Kirk will break it, or somebody will break it, right?
Yeah.
Don't cross the streams.
Yeah. So I don't. I think we'll look back on Moffat as not being as bad as we thought Moffat was, because I mean, I think I really liked the last 2 seasons. I thought they were good. I mean, I know some people, the thing that comes to mind that some people have had issues with is that episode Sleep No More, and I didn't think it was that bad.
I hated it.
It was great, but I mean, I had
there has never been a reason why the Doctor would run in the TARDIS saying it makes no sense, and then you end the episode there.
What?
You end the episode there for no reason.
Well,
he goes in the TARDIS, he's like, this doesn't make sense, and he's in the TARDIS, like they push him in the TARDIS, and it's just like, did the guy just take over the universe, or did the guy just take over a planet? What just happened?
Well,
like, we don't know what happened.
Open, though. That's the way the story was written.
It just was. They've never had it that. So he lost then, Capaldi.
Well, remember though. Remember all those things that came out that said they had problems behind the scenes with that episode.
And he walked off set with that episode too.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was true, there were other problems that they were having though too. Remember that it was said that they were having. So I mean, if that's the case, maybe that's what happened. Right. But remember, they as soon as that episode came out, a couple of days later, they're like, well, there's going to be a sequel in the next series. Maybe. And then they were like, yeah, definitely a sequel in the next series. And now it's like, well, maybe.
Because it's
so,
who knows? He
don't
want to do a Sleep No More shit. He wants to do Ice Warriors. If he was
Which we would rather see Ice Warriors than another thing in Gaddis.
I mean, if
he got hired to be an actor in a fucking show, and it's like, to act what's written. Go up there, do your job, and act. I mean, it's like it's not his job to judge whether or not he likes the story. Just go fucking up there and fucking perform it, But
he's also a writer, so he writes episodes of Doctor Who.
Well, in fairness to him, did he write that episode or was involved in writing it?
Sleep No More?
Yeah.
That's his.
No, Capaldi's, not Gatiss.
Oh, no, Capaldi,
did he write it?
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, then he should just get up there and perform. I mean, That's why he's not the producer. He's the fucking.
Capaldi got a lot of freedom because if you remember, Moffat wanted to pick the outfit, and Capaldi's like, "No, I want to do it." And he's taking pictures with, John Pertwee's son, Sean Pertwee, and like, "Oh, this might be cool," And it's like Moffat's like, "All right, whatever, dress to whatever way you want." But then it got ridiculous, where he's wearing like pajamas and friggin' whatever the hell that is, jogging suit or whatever the hell it is. Like, what are you wearing?
Well, there's been a history. I mean, from what
he's an old man. He's gonna wear something comfortable.
From what I understand, Tom Baker wasn't a big fan of John Nathan Turner. They butted heads. So I mean,
I think Capaldi and Moffat butted heads, but we'll never see it. But I think that they constantly did.
I've liked Capaldi's run. I'll go on record as saying that. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think this would be the best one this season. Hopefully,
I think he's definitely been a good doctor. I have no complaints with him. It's kind of some of the stuff around him
to shine. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with Mike D. I liked 8. I thought 8 was good up until the end, but for a majority of the season, it was really good. 9 had its moments, but just in my opinion, there were things that I just didn't like about it. But I'm not gonna say that it it's gonna ruin the show. But there is something to be said that these last few seasons the ratings have gone down for whatever reason, and they're probably gonna try to fix that somehow.
I'd put that season 9 up against like most of like Matt Smith's later stuff, like as far as being consistent as a season, because there were some episodes that were just like, I mean, they didn't suck, but I mean, they're just kind of like, I don't, maybe this is just a personal, well, obviously it's a personal opinion. I don't have more of a pull to like go back and revisit those as fast as I would season 8 and 9.
See, our opinions about Matt Smith totally different because I loved his doctor.
I think Capaldi's a better doctor than Smith, and I think when Smith had really good episodes, he was good, and the scripts were good. But I like the varied episode of like him talking to tree people. It's just I don't really care. I mean, I'd rather see like Under the Lake, and like when it.
Well, again, you're talking something that Moffat wrote and something that somebody else wrote. Like Moffat wrote the tree people. Which, Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying is it's more, I guess like his stuff's a little bit more lighthearted. Like, some of the episodes with Smith have gotten like where they were like a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit more fantasy oriented and a little more kid friendly. And I like the stuff that they did in season 8 and 9 where it was like a little darker edged. And
I like what they did in season 6 in the beginning when he had the beard and he's like talking to Canton Delwell. He's like, you could build me the greatest prison, it won't be enough.
That was good, but I don't know about anybody else, but the end of that season, where it was like, oh, he was in the test selector the whole time.
Yeah,
to me, it was like
I called that too.
That seems pretty convenient.
But you know what it is? You know that he's going to be in the test selector because they put it in the fucking preview that they said, why would they show the test selector? It has nothing to do with the episode. So that then that's an out. For him.
I'll tell you what, though, I do agree with Mike D. When it comes to Series 7,
well, that was a mess.
There were things in that season that made me just scratch my head, going, "What is going on? What is happening with this?"
We had the half Amy Rory season, and then the half Clara, and it was like a podge.
That episode where where Amy and Rory died, quote unquote. There are so many things in that episode that just make me go, "But wait, I thought this is how this worked."
And I was there for the
and
filming.
How does that happen? I think the Statue of Liberty being a weeping angel that breaks all the rules of the weeping angel.
That's always going to be a favorite episode of mine because I was there for filming, in Tudor City.
Yeah, no one in New York was looking at the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Personally, I think Matt Smith's doctor, he ended up in the wrong position in the timeline. I think Matt Smith's doctor would have been perfect post-Valeyard. Now, if you had someone that was more like Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock after Tenet, in between Tenet and Capaldi, would have been perfect.
I like Matt Smith's doctor, so I don't know.
I know. I think he would have been spectacular if he had someone other than Moffat working with him. I think Moffat truly failed.
I'll tell you what, though.
I think Moffat works better with Smith than he does with Capaldi.
I'll tell you what, though, I would love to see, and I've said this before, I'd love to see Matt Smith come back as the villain, the cyber controller, the cyber commander, whatever he was.
Clever.
Yeah, I really liked that performance he gave. It was a little over the top, but that's why I liked it, because sometimes an over the top villain, especially in a sci-fi show, can be just what it needs. And I thought he did. I thought he played. I might like that role better than his Doctor role, to be honest with you. I don't dislike him as the Doctor. I
really, honestly, I like Tennant's like my favorite, Tom Baker, but Matt Smith really grew on me, and I liked him a lot. So I think everything flowed so much better with Moffat, with Smith, than Capaldi, because it seemed like even the trailers were better, this was better, that was better. It's like this with Capaldi, it's like all over the place, and it's not Capaldi's fault. It's just Moffat's, because he can't. And he admitted he was upset that Matt Smith left. He was upset that this one left. He was heartbroken. Karen Gillan off the dog when it's like he's not putting his best work into writing Capaldi stuff.
Well, we got to wait to see what this season holds, because we could be coming on here at the end of Series 10 and be like, "Hey, Capaldi's the best Doctor we've ever seen."
Right. Or we could say that Moffat totally screwed it up. We don't know.
That's possible too.
Which I really hope not.
I think Peter's Doctor's been one of the best. I enjoy the episodes. I mean, you could make an argument that maybe who's the classic Doctor that everyone's always blowing smoke up their ass? Tom Baker, but I mean.
Tom Baker or
John Pertwee was fantastic. Patrick Troughton, they were all really fantastic. I wasn't crazy about Colin Baker, but
I like Peter Davison more than Tom Baker, but I love Tom Baker too. Just slightly more toward Peter Davison than Tom Baker. That's just my personal preference.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I was going to say I wasn't talking yet.
He was talking over.
I was saying the Doctor everyone blows smoke up their ass, Tom Baker. His last two seasons weren't exactly the best, and you can make the same argument that the writing or whatever got hokey or campy, but everyone still says Tom Baker is like the best Doctor or the best classic Doctors, so I would say Capaldi is one of the better Doctors, so, I would watch Series 8 and 9 over, some of the shit that was in Baker's last two seasons.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't a fan of Leisure Hive. I fucking hated that episode.
Well, it's unfortunate. What's going to be unfortunate is that I think a lot of and this is probably going to be with the newer fans, I think it's unfortunate that Capaldi's era is probably going to have this stigma that it was bad with the newer fans.
Mainly because of the writing.
Which is unfortunate, because I think there's more to it than a lot of people give credit for. It's not perfect, but there's never been a perfect series of any show.
Right.
Or season of any show, depending on where you live. But I'm interested to see what they do with this next series, and I'm really interested to see what Chibnall can do, because I think the show is going to change. Whether or not there's a female Doctor, whoever the next Doctor is, I think there's going to be a tone change with the show. Not too much where it's unrecognizable, but I think it's definitely going to try to get some of those fans that left back.
But it's sad. But it'll be sad to see Capaldi go.
Oh yeah,
and not and the scripts that he had penned on or could have had came from Chibnall opposed to Moffat.
Yeah. Now we also have to worry about what is the shape going to be for Series 11, because we're hearing horror stories that he's taken off a year, Chibnall. That not only is he taken off a year, but he has to write when he comes back, because it's not a real vacation if he's writing on vacation. So is the Doctor going to wait for, obviously the Doctor's going to have to wait for him to come back, and it's going to be aired in the winter.
Like when they were doing the split seasons. Give us an entire season. Don't take a year off.
But this is why I said before Moffat gave him the job, he should have asked him, are you taking vacation or not? Because we had too much gap time. And if that's the case, Moffat stays another year. And I know people go crazy.
Moffat didn't hire him, though.
Moffat chose him, didn't he?
No. Remember, they asked him if he had any control over that, and he said no. So it's the BBC that hired him.
BBC hired
Moffat may have, because there's always this misconception that Russell T. Davies picked Moffat. he recommended Moffat, but the BBC is the one that hired him. I'm almost certain that it's because someone asked Moffat if he could pick Mark Gatiss or whoever. I remember there was a live show, and they were like, "Can you pick Mark Gatiss to be the next showrunner?" And he was like, "I have no control over that.
Right.
The BBC does." So it must have been maybe Moffat gave Chibnall a recommendation, but in the end, the BBC could have been like, "Hell no, we want this person to be the showrunner."
Well, he did Broadchurch, so right away it's like, oh yeah, we got.
Right. So if he's already done a successful show for them, it makes sense that they're like, okay, yeah, here's the bigger show, in my opinion.
Right.
Doctor Who.
That shows you that they're really gung ho and ambitious and ready to go. If as soon as they get the job, they're like, hey, it's vacation time. I'll talk to you in a year.
That's ridiculous, though, isn't it?
Getting a new job and just saying, hey, I'm taking off the next couple of months because I'm going out of the country on vacation, but thank you for hiring me.
And who the fuck does that? Like his whole crew, what are they going to do? That's on Doctor Who. They're just not going to work. They had so many problems.
Is that confirmed? That I didn't mean to cut you off, Joe. I apologize.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that confirmed that he's definitely taking a year off, or?
Okay, this is the thing. He said he's taking a year off. I don't know what that means. Meaning that it was also said
2 seasons and then do your day.
It was also said that he's not going to do any writing on his vacation, and that when he comes back, it's going to take months to write the stuff in the writers' room, and that they won't air Series 11 until October, the latest, of whatever.
If he's taking a year off, and part of me has to think that if he's taking a year off, he's going to be at least thinking about what he wants to do. If he takes a year off, I'll say this. If he takes a year off, right, and he and the writers or himself, whatever, and they plan out the next season, have at it. Because I'd rather them do that than be like, all right, I wanted to take a year off, but I can't, so let's just put it out there, and then I'll
Yeah.
Because if they do that, we're going to be coming on here every Saturday going, what the fuck did we just see? So, I mean.
And then there was another rumor, a rumor, mind you, that they may not have the same format that Doctor Who has now because it's a different showrunner. Like, as the showrunner, he may say, 13 episodes plus a Christmas special is too much for me. Or, because now it is 12 episodes plus a Christmas special. We're one short always lately. So he may just say, I want to just do 6. And I want them to be, so then that's going to be an issue. Because we keep getting less and less Doctor Who. I think we're down 4 or 5 seasons now that we just lost. And, I was just looking at a video that talking about Series 9, and that was in 2015. 2016, we had shit. So it's like, we can't have these gaps.
No, we can't.
There's all these shows coming back. All these shows are being rebooted. All these new sci-fi shows are coming on TV, Netflix, everything.
And we're going to lose Doctor Who for another who knows how many years.
The competition is tremendous.
I need a year off after I do a season. No, you do 2 seasons, then you do your year off, or you do your 6 months off. But you give the fans their show in some way, shape, and form in between that time. Whether it's shorts on YouTube or, like I've said, animated thing. I'm still surprised I never thought of doing animated things.
Right. And if I was the BBC, I would be like, I lost Top Gear. I lost Bake Off. I lost all this shit. We can't lose any money anymore. You can't take off. Or whatever.
Before we run out of time, it would be interesting to have another cast discussing what we'd like to see with the series going forward with the new Doctor, regardless of who he or she is.
I agree. And we got 4 minutes. We can still continue with this, and then we'll do another one.
By the way, as an aside, I put some headphones on. Is this better as far as delay? Okay.
You're better. I just think that I get worried that with Chibnall, things could dramatically change where we'll get a handful of episodes compared to... Because it seems to me like, what would happen if the people from Walking Dead that write Walking Dead, and oh yeah, we need a year off. AMC would have a heart attack.
Yeah.
No, you know what they would do? You know what they would do?
What?
Here's Fear the Walking Dead.
No, it would never carry it.
No, but they put it on.
It is still on.
I know. There you go.
And you still got a third one coming out.
I know.
Which nobody wants. Nobody. Does anybody pay attention to that shit? No.
I forgot that show was even on, to be honest with you, until he just...
So I'm saying Doctor Who, I mean, now Moffat don't got... What the hell is Moffat doing? I know he's doing a Jekyll movie. But, I mean, where's he going to work? What's he going to do? Sherlock? He don't got Sherlock. That's not a set thing.
Yeah, Moffat's the one that needs to go on vacation.
Moffat is going to be on vacation because he's not going to have any work.
So did anybody? I know this isn't Doctor Who related, but did anybody watch the whole thing of Sherlock? Because I only saw the first episode of the last one.
I loved it.
I thought it was okay, but I've heard a lot of negative about the whole series or whole season.
I've seen bits and pieces, but I haven't watched all the episodes.
I saw the whole thing, and I really liked the direction it went in, but the way they made it was like that may be it or not, and I'm like, oh, come on. What the hell?
With us starting the next cast, I think it would be an interesting springboard to start off from without giving the big spoiler that some of us are aware of away. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do, if they're going to tie that in somehow with how things are going to be propelled forward with the Christmas special, with what we know is going to be involved with that.
Well, I just want to add something to that because I'm starting to see more and more stuff like where people are trying to hint more and more at it about the select few people that do know what's going on. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, it's not going to be us, but somebody's going to leak what's going to happen in the Christmas special. And then shit's going to hit the fan. So, these people work hard on the show, and we, the Whovians cast, do respect that. I mean, we, as much as we want to talk about it, we won't. Maybe we'll give like a little thing where you don't even know what we're talking about. We know what's going to happen, but we're not going to do anything to jeopardize Doctor Who, So we're excited about the Christmas special more than what we were before.
I wouldn't say so much to people just so they don't get the wrong impression. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know exactly what's going to happen.
But we just know an element of what's involved.
Right. We know kind of like a synopsis or something, like a snippet of a whatever, some big deal that's going to happen. So, or possibly in the finale that's going to lead into the Christmas special or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I'm curious about, like going forward from that point. If that's going to be like a conduit that's going to be changing so much about what we're going to see in the following series.
All right, let's go into it. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye for now.